Alright, so this is day one. Pretty excited today. Yesterday I was kind of like very tired. Some people made a bad joke about drugs and stuff. Anyway, don't touch that. Don't do drugs. I don't do. Maybe I should. Who knows? Anyway, point is today, first question. Super excited to answer this one because I think it's a great question. It comes from Chad Sammeth. If you had to start over, what are 5 things you would do differently? Now this is a very interesting question for a lot of reasons. But the first one is, obviously I got my notes today. The first one I would say is that you're not going to get so many great information out of this question. So I know it's a great question, but you're not going to get a lot of good information from that question, because what you're really asking the person is that, hey, you failed on some levels, what are some of the things you will try differently to make it a success? So bear in mind that even if I tell you something, that's still a speculation. I haven't nailed it down. So I did do the exercise. It was extremely difficult, but mostly because a lot of things will change depending on the context. You know, now is not the same as like 5 years ago. Like, I give you an example. Nowadays, if you do want to have a Gmail, use the Gmail API, so doing a tool like me, it's not going to be easy to do it in your dorm room because you need to pass a Google security auditing before you can, launch your product on the market with more than 100 people. So that's going to be difficult. Until then, you're going to have the unverified message. It's going to be very, very tricky. So we're not going to see what I did, which is, starting from scratch with just investing more than 20K in a Google API auditing security. So unlikely. Anyway, point is, I did do the exercise. Number one, I got get a good accountant earlier. Now that's a funny one. Not many people will say that probably when looking at their business as to what they should do first. But honestly, I got an accountant. It was a cheap one. It worked for the first 2-3 years, and then I actually started creating some big problems, and I had to pay a lot of money for a better accountant in order to solve all that problem that was created in the first place. That honestly didn't need to happen. It was a bad accountant, bad advice, cost me money. So don't be cheap and get a good accountant. But again, it's easy to say once you got the money, Anyway, number 2, select a niche that has low potential for regulation issues. What a fucking pain in the ass to actually have to deal with Google API and all the other API when they actually just want to sort of like prevent the black side or the black hat side of your business, which is a lot of people are using, cold email to just spam people instead of using it like, in a nice way. So it's difficult. You got GDPR coming up and stuff like that. Instead, if I had done, I don't know, a CRM for fishermen, no one would ever bother me. But again, I probably wouldn't have as many clients. So, again, speculation. Number 3, I would probably get all my team local if I could, instead of doing remote. And I know it's against trend, but I'm kind of a guy who actually likes to be all together in a room. Of course, there's no one around me because I'm working remotely. But I do like to have that vibe about like informal information going very fast, and then, it's just an atmosphere of all trying to win together. It's like everyone's playing a football game, but everyone is just, on their own console remotely. It's not the same as being on the same field. All right, number 4. What did I write here? Oh yeah, invest early on content marketing. Now, content marketing is a long game. If I had played it earlier, then I wouldn't need to pay a fortune right now in order to sort of like catch up with things. So that's annoying. But if you come in earlier, you're gonna have like more blogs that rank higher and stuff like that. So do come earlier if you do this strategy anyway. And number 5 is hiring faster. Man, God, I'm slow at hiring. But again, it's just speculation. May not have worked. So instead, what I'd like to propose today is the reverse of that question, or something similar to that question. Is like, what would have what I would not have changed. And I think this is a much better question to ask founders, because basically you're gonna tell them like, hey, what are sure thing that works that wouldn't actually change if you start a new company again? So bonus for today, I'm gonna give you my 5, actually 6, I threw an extra one, things that I wouldn't change if I go ahead and then start a new business right now. Number 1, being a single founder. Now it's interesting because a lot of people will, ask me, isn't that, a difficult job to be a solo founder and stuff like that? I'm gonna come to answer this question in the next few days, but for now I'm just going to leave it at that. Just bear in mind that for me, what's super important is freedom, and being a single founder is probably one of the biggest freedom you can have. Number 2, being customer founded. Again, talking about freedom, I don't want any investors. For a long time, it wasn't very clear for me, especially the first 2 years of QuickMail. Should we get an investor on board? Should we not? So freaking glad I didn't. And I don't want that to change. Keep 100% of your shares, guys. Number 3, being a SaaS software company. I do think this is probably the best market at the moment. I wouldn't want to touch, even with a long pole, anything that is physical. It's just too much of a massive pain. Plus, the other cool thing is like time versus money. So I'm not doing agency, I'm not doing consultant, I'm actually having a product. I sell when I'm sleeping, and I can just focus my time on helping the most people and not necessarily having to serve one single individual versus using my time. Number 4, stay close to the user, and then I'll probably also get the similar audience because I do love talking to startup, other companies, small, medium-sized companies. They're fun to talk with. They're exciting group. And I probably also do again a Facebook group or something to be very close to them and being able to get a pulse on what's going on. Number 5, B2B, because sorry guys, but B2C is a massive pain. That's the people that complain about installing an app for $2 on their phone. So otherwise I would have gone do a company on video games. That's kind of fun, but nah, B2B guys, anytime. And then number 6 is a small bonus that I throw in is have a mastermind group. So instead of having having multiple founders in your own company, just get a group of founders that also are solo founders and get on a journey together. And that's it for day 1. See you tomorrow.